Hi, my name is Martha. I'm a sexologist in Singapore and my company is called Eros Coaching. You have just reached the first of 3 videos that I have for my campaign Masturbation Month that I run in May. So this is the second time I'm running this campaign, and in this video I'll be talking about how I first masturbated, and it is also linked to how I had my first orgasm. So I first masturbated when I was 5 or maybe 4. This was definitely before I entered primary school, and so this is how I remembered it. My sister, who is 1 year younger, actually showed me how to masturbate. She actually taught me. So if I was 5, she was 4. If I was 4, she was 3. So my sister came to me and she said, "Hey, you know, big sister, if you did this, you will feel good." I said, "What?" So she told me, even at that young age, we were actually very articulate. So she told me, if you take the bolster, you put it between your legs, and then you squeeze your thighs, and then you kind of snake your legs around the bolster, around each other, and lock them at your ankles. Then what you do is you squeeze really hard, and then you rub your clitoris. Now I know it's the clitoris. Now you rub really hard, you will feel good at some point. I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I tried it, and I didn't feel anything besides pain in my ankles and frustrated. So I went to her and said, "You must be lying, nothing happened. You show me, you show me." So my sister went into position, and then she showed me. I tried it, I still didn't feel anything. Then my sister said, no, you don't give up, you just keep trying. Even when you're tired, you just keep trying. So as a kid, the thought of even giving up was not an option, because if my sister could figure out something, then surely I can figure it out, because I'm 1 year older than her, you know. It's kind of a loss of faith, right? If she knew or figured out something and I couldn't. So there's this like competitive element going on when you're kids. So I kept trying until I did feel something. I did feel the orgasm. I didn't know it was called the orgasm. I didn't know what we were doing was masturbation. I didn't know we were rubbing on the clitoris. I did not know any of these terms, but I knew it felt good. So after some weeks, perhaps, I went to my mom, and I was very curious whether it was really dangerous, because I was still a kid, you know. I don't know whether this heart beating and this flushing of my body was good for me, because I'm a kid. So I went to my mom, and I caught her at the right time, right? So she was lying on the sofa, she was watching TV, and then I lied on the floor next to her, and so she was above me. So I showed her. So I told her, I said, "Hey, mommy, 妹妹教我的，我要给你看，我不知道怎么讲，我要给你看." So what I essentially said to my mom was, "Mom, I want to show you something my sister taught me. I don't know how to explain it. I need to show it to you." So I showed the twisting and the rubbing of the bolster to my mom, and to her credit, she said, "Oh, 是自然的，是这样的." So what she essentially said was, "This is okay, this is normal." So because of that one sentence, "Oh, it's okay, it's normal," because of that one sentence, I felt relief that it's okay to feel pleasure, it's okay to feel good in my body. And to her credit, she didn't smack me on the head. She didn't tell me to stop, because I think if she had, I probably would have, not knowing any better. So I'm sharing this story because, first of all, it's very personal. I don't want you to think that I'm sharing this story because I'm getting some kick out of it. I'm sharing this story because I want to help normalize masturbation. I want people to start questioning, what if we were encouraged, or what if we were allowed to explore ourselves. At some point in our lives, maybe when I was 1 or 2, I was constantly smacked in my hands, like, "Don't touch down there," because this is where I touched when I was afraid that I would pee. This was the most sensitive part of my body, and it did feel good when I touched it in a certain way when I was 1 or 2. And I was constantly being told not to touch my genitals, and you just don't know better, right, when you're so young. So I can imagine people who have been told all their lives, "Don't touch down there, you'll hurt yourself, you'll scratch yourself, you'll bleed down there." After some time they stop. To my credit, I wasn't touching myself, right? I was rubbing against the bolster. I was not directly touching myself. And when my mom said it was okay, I continued masturbation. So I don't want you to think that I'm getting some kind of kick sharing this story. I also don't want you to think that, oh, because I've been masturbating since I was 4 or 5, and therefore I'm over-sexualized, and that's why I became a sexologist. No. I have just as little or as much sex education than a lot of my clients. I did not know I had a vagina. I didn't even know the name of my vagina until I went to sex school. I didn't know there was a vagina and there was a vulva. I didn't know a lot of things growing up because I had just as little sex education as a lot of my clients. The only saving grace was that I caught up in the last 7 years of my life, running my practice for the last 5 and then having my training the last 2. So I really am not that much more knowledgeable than a lot of my clients, but I made up for it through my studies, my learning, my constant training, and so on. So I'm sharing this story, a very personal story, because I want to help normalize masturbation. What if we didn't have all these messages growing up? Then we would have less problems with sex. If we are comfortable with our bodies, with our sexuality, with learning how to have an orgasm by ourselves, then it is much more likely for us to be able to have an orgasm with our partners. Our sexuality is ours. I repeat, our sexuality is ours. It is ours to share, not for others to take. People who are married, they think, oh, my sexuality is his law, is my duty, is my obligation. I have to do it. I have to do it because otherwise he'll be upset. I have to do it. So there are negative consequences packed to their sexual expression, and that can cause problems when someone is just not comfortable with their sexuality, or worse, having pain during sex. So I hope this little story gives you a little kind of food for thought. First, I think about how sexuality is a normal expression of our lives, and young kids who are not censored, who are not prevented, who are not punished, can actually learn how to have sexual pleasure organically, that learning about our bodies is a good thing, and that our sexuality is ours. The more comfortable we are, the better it is for us to begin to express and then share it with our partners later on in life. So I feel that masturbation has helped me to be a more empowered person, even when I had no names for the act, no names for my parts. I just didn't know. So tune in to the next video where I talk about how masturbation saved my life. I know it sounds like an exaggeration, but this is really how I interpreted it and what I believe. So tune in to the next video. I hope you like this video. Please share your comments, and I look forward to receiving your feedback. In the meantime, keep loving.